Hi there. I have this sudden desire to make a video. And so that is what I'm doing. I kind of am doing this by the seat of my pants. I'm not really making plans. I just started feeling like I needed to share certain things with people like you who are looking for a little guidance around psychic abilities, because so many people are really exploring that right now. They're beginning to recognize the signs of being psychic and understanding that this is a thing that they're going through, and they want to know more. They want to get better at their abilities. They want to figure out how to use them, and that's amazing. But I feel like it's as fun as the exploration side of things can be, and I'll talk about that in a video at some point, I'm sure. But today, I feel like what I really need to talk about is energetic hygiene, and maybe a little bit of like one of the, I guess you could call them like social graces or maybe etiquette around psychic abilities, because there is kind of some of that needs to be known too. I feel like it's good to say that sort of stuff, to understand that there are maybe things you should and shouldn't do as a psychic, especially if you're just starting out, and you're only just beginning to understand that there are things like channeling and being a medium and having, feeling other people's emotions and things like that. Like there's a huge world of abilities out there, and some of us are beginning to do some really crazy stuff with these abilities. Like, we're learning that we can be telepathic and that we can move things with our minds. I mean, that's been a thing that's been buried, I think, in mainstream media into a fiction, as though that's not real. But it is real, and some people can do it. And I think that the past history of our planet probably would show that there were psychic abilities present for our past, maybe, incarnations of civilization, where they understood these energies and knew how to utilize them in a profound way that we only can scratch the surface of understanding. So, yeah, I think that's definitely out there. But right now, what's absolutely prevalent is that many of us, for one thing, are empathic, which means you can feel other people's feelings, or you know what they are just because you have a sense of knowing inside of you. Or maybe you even feel them in your body, which would be kinesthetic, right? You might even be such a powerful empath that you take on another person's personality traits in their presence. You might start talking like them. You might start acting like them. You might even start looking like them a little, like dressing like them, wanting to dress in the same way. These are things that can happen to you if you're an empath, especially if your energies are bleeding into someone else's field and you don't know how to protect your own energy. And if you need to know how to protect your own energy, you can see my video about how to shield your energy, and that can talk to you a little about how to keep your own energy to you, and make sure that other people's energy isn't interfering in yours, so that you can actually be you and not start taking on the personality traits of other people, because that isn't ideal. I mean, there are times to do that where you might want to intentionally go into another person's energy to be able to read it as a reader. Absolutely, that's amazing to be able to do that, but we don't want to do that on a daily, all day long, all the time. We don't want that all the time, because that's exhausting, okay? So that's like, that's what I'm talking about here, is that we need to do a little energetic hygiene, because things like that are happening to people all the time. When you are starting out with your abilities and you're learning how to use them, you may not understand things like that other people's energy might be interfering in yours, or that you might be receiving transmissions from some entity and you don't know who it is, and you don't even know how to ask. Yikes. And then you might be fooled into channeling energy from an entity that isn't actually on your side and doesn't actually want the best for you. So we don't like that. We don't want that going on. And you certainly don't want to be bugged all the time by, like, the energies of other beings while you're sleeping, for instance. You need your rest. You don't need these energies coming at you all day, all the time. And if that's happening to you, you need to practice some energetic hygiene. And also there's this thing like boundaries. We need boundaries. These are important in the psychic world. So the first thing I want to say is a little etiquette, okay? If you are a psychic and you're exploring your abilities, have etiquette around the way you do this, okay? Firstly, I am never going to tell you that you should consider it your privilege to go looking around in someone else's energy without their permission. And there are people who have boundaries psychically, who have those in place, and you're not getting in there, so that's appropriate. But most people don't know about that and don't have that aspect of themselves squared away. And so it seems like, because you're psychic and you can just look at somebody's lifeline if you want to, why wouldn't I? No, please don't do that. That's not good etiquette, okay? Any more than it would be okay for you to pick up somebody's phone and start reading all of their texts and emails. No. Nobody wants you doing that. Or looking at their medical records. Like, no, that's not okay. You shouldn't be doing that. That's a no. The only reason for you to go looking at someone else's energy is if you get pinged around that person's energy and you can feel, or you've been hearing a message from your guides or from source or whatever, that, or your higher self, that, hey, you need to look at that person, a particular aspect of that person's energy because, ... whatever that might be. Maybe they're a danger to you or someone you care about. Maybe something bad is about to happen around that person and they need to know, and you're being asked to give them a message. Sometimes that happens, absolutely, and follow those. Follow those little pings that you might be getting from the universe or whatever source you're hearing. Maybe it's your guides, maybe it's angels. Whatever that is, if you've made a connection with something like that and you know that it is a clear and safe connection, follow that. Follow your intuition, please, when it asks you to look at someone's energy. Otherwise, that is not something you should be doing. It is rude, and I think that is why many psychics get a bad name, because the intrusion is impolite. When you're looking at someone's energy without their permission, without their request for your advice, it's not appropriate. So don't do that, okay? Only be looking, it's one thing, again, to look at the collective of humanity and ask questions. To look at even if it's looking at your family and asking specific questions because it's for your own benefit. That's different, okay? When you're maybe looking at your lineage, your ancestry, things like that, that's different, okay? That's your family, and there's some expectation of intimacy there. It's also, even with a partner, however, I would say, someone who's a life partner that you might be very close to, or a best friend, or a sibling, someone that you're very close with, even then, I would still say it's important to ask permission and get it before you go digging around in someone's psyche, okay? Even if you can, it doesn't mean you should. So that's a good rule of thumb to follow. I would also say that if someone is not asking for your healing, probably don't just give it. Like, if you're a healer and this is a natural ability that you have and you are able to do this for people, that does not mean you should. We don't know a person's story fully. It is impossible for you to know a full story of a person. Even if you're super psychic, even if you can look at a person's lifeline, even if you can see all of their past lives, even if you have tons of information because you're a deep empath who just feels the things that that person is feeling, doesn't matter. Unless a person actually asks you for healing and they have given permission to you, that isn't something you should just be doing to someone. Without their permission, it isn't probably going to work anyway, but interfering in another person's life, even if you can, doesn't mean you should, because we don't know what lessons someone is here to learn. Every one of us comes here choosing our lifetime because we expect certain things are going to happen to us. We expect that certain experiences are going to come to us through the choices that we make because we have a best guess of what kinds of experiences we're going to have around our personalities and the people that are involved in the life experience that we've chosen. It's kind of like looking at a roller coaster ahead of time and saying, I think I know how that's going to feel, and I think I'm going to like it. And that's what I'm going to do. Even if I know I'm going to be scared sometimes, I know I'm going to have fun. I know. Some of us came here for a rough ride, okay? We came here for a scary experience. If you're here with me, that's probably you too. I'm almost guaranteeing you've been to the dark side and you know exactly what that place looks like. You could probably draw a great sketch, right? You know exactly what that place is like, and you have lived in it. You have wallowed in it. And now you're learning to make peace with it and even maybe see how it can benefit you because you've gotten things out of it. Great. Again, this is your life, and you know how it feels to be you. Another person knows how it feels to be them. Important for you to recognize that person's sovereignty and understand you don't know their life story. And unless a person comes to you specifically asking for your services, please do not just do them to people, okay? Again, it's also, very different when you're being called to offer your energy to maybe heal the planet overall, offer your loving energy to kind of hug the planet with that feeling of goodness. That's different than you going into a specific individual's story and messing around when you haven't been asked. No, thank you. Please don't. Okay? It's just not okay. We really, really have to respect a person's story. And it really is important also to not have judgment about where they are in a story. Because even if a person is hurting you horribly, that's probably because they themselves have been hurt horribly. That doesn't mean you should heap more horrible into their life if you're mad at them, any more than you should heap healing onto them when they aren't ready for it. It's not going to work unless they're ready, unless they're in a specific space and mindset that is open to that. It's not likely to work. People have to be ready emotionally for a physical change to occur. Emotions have to be released and willingly done so in order for a person to actually really be able to receive healing and for it to actually do the work of moving that energy out of the body. It's unlikely to leave without that person's permission, and it's unlikely to stay gone, even if you get rid of it, unless that person does their healing work first, emotionally. Because most physical healing that needs to be done is because there's an emotional attachment of some kind to a traumatic event or experience, or even maybe from a past life experience. Again, if you don't know, don't mess with it, okay? So, in that vein, think about your own energetic hygiene. So if you are starting to notice that you have intuition and it's becoming more accurate, you're starting to notice that you have more recognition of people's emotional states and being able to accurately guess what's going on with them, or to be able to accurately know what's going on with them. You may start to notice that you're channeling randomly and you're getting information that seems accurate, or you're becoming more aware of entities around you, you know, the spirit world, or alternate dimensions or timelines, things like that. Those things might be becoming more alive for you right now, which is amazing. But as that happens, it's really important to remember that energy is not ever positive or negative, so to speak, in terms of the universe. Like, the universe it'll utilize energy, whatever kind it is, and it moves according to balance, okay? So wherever there is what we would call positive energy, there's also an equal balance of negative, in a way. It's not like we have this much positive energy and that much negative energy. It's not really like that. It's more about balance of experience and how it affects the environment, life, things like that, the movement of things. And energy is really I'm searching for the right words here, even though I tend to be a wordy person. Sometimes they escape me, so I'm doing the best I can to dig in there and find this particular word that I want, and I'm not finding it, but I'm sure it'll come to me eventually, so I'm not going to worry. But what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is that energy requires our intention in order for it to move a certain way. And if it's not us moving in energy, it's something else. It's as simple as that. So we are able to move energy with intention, and it is important that you use intention on a daily basis, because for whatever reason, energy can often be released between sunrise and sunset. and on a daily basis, sometimes you do need to, redo some of these energies that you need to put into place where intention is concerned, particularly when it comes to energetic boundaries and maintaining your own energetic hygiene. Because as you go through your day, you come into contact with lots of new energy. And if you think of energy like a river, it's all around you. It moves through and around everything. And energy is constantly available, and it's constantly moving. It is never still. It's never still. It's always in motion. And it's in motion from everything around you, things that you can't see and things you can. So when you think of energy in a river, you think of that river as being available always, where you can just always dip into it and utilize what's there. That's true for everyone else around you too. They're dipping into that energy, they're swimming in it, they're drinking it, they're everything, right? It's a part of everything. And so if you think of that river as being always around you, it's always changing. The same water doesn't flow by you ever again, right? If you sit next to a river, that river is always new, right? So when you think about how the energy around you is always shifting, obviously there's going to be things in that river you don't want, and then there are going to be things in that river that you do want. The things that you don't want have to be filtered out somehow. And that's your job to do that using intention. That's part of your job, to maintain your own energetic field, and we call that energetic hygiene. Many people do in the energy world. They call it energetic hygiene. It's just a maintaining of your own energy field so that it's as healthy and clean as possible. And the way that you do that is to intend for that energetic field to be clean. Again, my shielding video can show you how to maintain your energy field every single day for your chakra system, for your body, your mind, your heart, your auric field. That's all possible to shield, I call it shielding, but really all it is you maintaining your own energy field so that other things can't penetrate in and absorb into you. But beyond that, it is also important to clean your energy field occasionally. That can be a number of things that you could do. If you don't have selenite, I suggest you get some. It's an amazing crystal stone that can cleanse your energy field in a most profound way. You can use it like a wand where you sweep it up and down over your body and release those energies, again, using intention. I intend for my energy field to be cleared of anything that doesn't serve me today. Whoosh, sweep it down. Done. Sage is a great clearing energy. Again, use your intention. I intend to cleanse my energy field using this herb. And light the smoke and let it go. Do it all around the 4 directions, just like the Native Americans do, and up above, down below. That usually does the trick, right? And I would do that in my space where I spend a lot of time too. Occasionally sweep the energy of that space so that you know that that energy is cleared out, because energy moves constantly, you guys. This isn't a thing you can just do once in a great while. It should be on a fairly regular basis that you do these things so that you feel your best and most like you, and your space feels the best too. You could even get a selenite tower that you keep in a room if you feel like there's a lot of people who come to visit you and share space with you. That's a great idea to do that. I highly recommend that. You can put selenite on your windowsills if you feel like maybe you're worried about what energy might be coming at you from a certain area of, like, maybe there's negativity around you somewhere. Selenite in the windowsill. You can try it and see what happens. It can also be helpful to set up your room in a particular way around feng shui, or if you notice that energy moves better when you move your furniture in a certain way, that can also keep the energy of your space a little bit cleaner. Because stuck energy can happen when you don't clean your space often enough, or if the energy just starts to feel a little bit dull, then it could just be you need to wake it up a little with moving things around. And that can help change the energy too. It can help clean it out a little. Definitely cleaning can be a thing though, because energy can get stuck where things aren't clean and where things are untidy. So if you have an untidy space and your energy is low, maybe clean your space and see how you feel. Tidy things up a little, put things away, get rid of stuff that you don't need anymore. Throw out the trash, get rid of old clothes, get rid of things that you haven't used in years. Just empty your space of those things and you may find that energy moves again in a more readily again in a way that just feels good to you, okay? Another thing that, you can help with keeping your energy clean is to, you can go and get a massage, especially from somebody who knows how to utilize acupuncture or acupressure. Those are great ways to clean your energy. Chiropractic doctors often know how to use energy, and they can help cleanse your energy field a little. You could go and occasionally see somebody who's an energy worker, and they can cleanse the body of a lot of energies if you feel like you need help because you're not doing it enough. You're not doing enough with just a little selenite wand and your intention. If you feel like you need more, do that. But on a daily basis, at the very least, I would do the shielding, and I would certainly do the sweeping of your energy on occasion, because I do think that does help you. I wouldn't say no to maybe an energetic field around your bed at night, like just making an energy grid with some crystals that feel aligned for you. And again, you can just go to a crystal shop and look for whatever stones speak to you. If they speak to you and they feel good when you hold them in your hand, they're for you. And they don't have to be the same. You can use different ones. It's up to you how you do it, but a grid is as simple as taking 4 stones and putting them at each corner of your bed. You can tuck them under the mattress, you can place them on the floor, however you feel like works for you. But if they're there, they create a grid if they're close together. And again, you set the intention for those stones to be there as a protection for you while you're sleeping. You can do that. Those things help. You can do that for your house too, if it feels good to you, if that feels like the right thing. Another thing that you can do to maintain energetic hygiene is before you drink water, or if before you drink anything, you can just place your hands around the vessel and send the intention of love into that water. Water is a powerful carrier of energy. Powerful. Whatever was in that water before you drank it is in it when you put it in your body. So you can cleanse that water by sending love to it. It is as simple as that. Like, intend to send your love into that water. Feel the loving energy inside of you first, and then send it to the water. And you can just, as simple as thinking about loving somebody who you care about deeply, or having experienced that feeling of love for someone, and then place it into the water, bam. That water is going to feel so much better to you when you drink it. And I'm going to share a practice of sending love to the water of your body. You can look at that too. That might be another way to help increase the energy of your body. Water is a very feminine energy, has a very feminine, loving, gentle energy to it, even though I know water on the planet can get pretty crazy. But so can female energy. You know, think about the mama bear. That energy is powerful, and it's within us. It is what makes up most of our body. It's in every cell of your body. It affects every cell of your body when you put love into that water. So I suggest trying that and see if it helps you. These are all things that you can do to help maintain your energy field and keep it as high as possible. I would also consider thinking about the food you're eating and whether or not that energetically supports you. You can start tuning into what food feels good to you. And you can even do like energy testing with your food, muscle testing. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Muscle testing is very simple. It's as simple as holding something in your hand and then somebody pushes the arm down on the other side to see how strong you are when you're holding that in your hand. And of course you need to test it without something in your hand first, and maybe do it with something that you know is true, like, oh, I am a woman, and then test. Oh yeah, true. But look it up. You can find out more about muscle testing elsewhere. I'm not an expert on that, but you can look it up. And also, don't just take my word for any of this stuff. Please look up all of these things and find out more, okay? This is just one resource for you, and I'm happy to share this information because it's necessary for so many of us, and we need it so badly. But I am not the only person who's talking about this, and you shouldn't just take my word for anything. You shouldn't just take one person's word for anything ever. I think it's good to look around, okay? And then make a practice that works for you. That's how it should always be. Whatever works for you is what you should be doing, okay? So, anything else that I can think of that might help? Oh, forest bathing, or just going out in nature in general. Grounding. Huge way to maintain your energy. Okay, grounding is super important. You can help yourself with maybe taking an Epsom salt bath. And showering is another way to build the correct ions in your body. It's probably why when you're in the shower you get so many good ideas. Is, the negative ions in the shower are good for your body. It's good for your, your well-being. So, standing next to a waterfall, again, kind of does the same thing. Negative ions are good for you. I know it seems like the opposite of what it should be, but that's actually true. Negative ions are what you want. But either way, grounding as a practice is an important way to keep inflammation down in your body, because when you build up all of that static in your body, it isn't good for you, and you need to let it go. So it's just like in the wintertime when you get static cling, or you get, you press, you touch somebody and zap, you give them a little zapparola. I'm making up words now. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, when you zap somebody with their energy, they're static, and you might be hearing my cat. He's talking to me right now. The energetics of that electricity in your body is that it needs to be released over time through the day, right? When you are like going around building up the static in your body, it does end up creating inflammation. So going outside and putting your feet on the earth is the quickest, easiest way. But if it's freezing cold in the wintertime, maybe you don't want to do that. So I have grounding shoes that I wear. I find them incredibly helpful. If you have a better way to ground, do it. I don't advise using those mats or those sheets or the pillows or lots of the other stuff that people say helps with grounding, because sometimes those aren't really doing what they say they're doing. So be careful with that. But the grounding shoes, if they're actually grounding shoes, they'll be made of a natural substance like leather. I know not all the people in the world want leather right now, because maybe you're vegan and you don't believe in wearing any animal products on your body. However, I would say I'm vegan, and if the animals are dying anyway, I think it's important to use the whole animal and use the energy wisely instead of letting it go to waste. So that's how I feel about it. You don't have to agree with me, that's okay. But you decide what feels good to you, okay? But grounding is important, and make sure you're figuring out a way to do it that feels aligned for you. It can be an Epsom salt bath too. If you're willing to do that every single day, do it. It lets out a lot of energy, and it's great for your body. So try it and see. Anything else that's coming to mind? Spending time in nature for sure is a big one. That can also release a lot of negative energy from your body. It can be very meditative. Again, I also really recommend meditation. Meditation's huge, and it can be a very powerful way to not only calm your energy, but get you in touch more with your psychic abilities too. It becomes very powerful as a practice to just sit with yourself for even 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long time, you guys. It just has to be a few minutes. And it doesn't require you to be like a Zen monk and sit perfectly still in a lotus position. You guys, no. My friend, please do not do that to yourself. You are not a Zen monk, okay? And if you are, amazing. Good for you. I love it. But if you're not a Zen monk, and you're just a normal, regular human being walking around trying to figure out life, like the rest of us, please do not expect yourself to sit with perfect silence, with all of your thoughts just dissipating. That isn't real. I highly recommend that you just sit and allow yourself to be whatever you are in that moment and just breathe. Just try to focus on your breathing. Count while you breathe if it helps, or just pay attention to the breath. Notice how it feels coming and going. And then if a thought comes in, go, oh, that's nice. I love it that my brain wants to keep me busy right now, but I'm actually doing something else, and I'm not going to do anything with that thought just this minute. And it's okay. It's okay if you have thoughts, because you're going to have them. It's part of the experience of being human. Your brain is going to keep you busy. It's okay. So just relax about that. Try it though. I recommend a lot of things that can help you so that you can choose from those things and decide which one works best for you, and just start with one thing and see how you feel. One thing. One. You can do that, can't you? Just one. I really, really hope this helps. Okay, I don't want to keep you anymore. I feel like this is a long enough video now. I'm gonna leave it there, and if anything else occurs to me, of course, I'll make more videos in the future. There are plenty of things to discuss about all of this. But please, take wonderful care of yourself, okay? You're the only person like you in the world. And you deserve to be here. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to enjoy your life. And you deserve to have all the things that you know are in your heart. You deserve them. So please, do yourself a favor and give yourself the love you know you deserve. Take care of your body. Take care of your energy. And it will take care of you. That really works. Just have that intention, okay? All right. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments. If you have any thoughts, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, do all the things. I would love to have more of you here. I look forward to it. It's going to be fun. We're going to figure out all kinds of cool stuff together, you and I. We're going to figure it out. So, until the next time, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I hope you have really good time figuring out how it is that you want to maintain your own energetic hygiene. I'd love to hear about it when you try these things. Let me know. All right. See ya.